Before kingdoms rose and empires fell, before beasts ruled and idols spoke, there was a man who saw it all. They took his home, broke his temple, and chained his freedom. But one thing they could not break was the fire within him, a faith born not of fear, but of God. This is the story of Daniel. When Babylon conquered Jerusalem, King Nebuchadnezzar carried away treasures from God's temple, and among the captives were young men of Judah. They were taken far from home, across the desert, to serve in a foreign land. They entered Babylon, a city of gold, idols, and power, where everything they knew would be tested. They were renamed, re-educated, and trained in the language and wisdom of Babylon, but Daniel remembered who he was. They were offered the king's food and wine, but Daniel resolved not to defile himself.
Thank you, honored attendant, but we must respectfully decline. We only wish for vegetables and water.
In a land of idols, Daniel bowed only to the living God.
Thank you for your continued protection and guidance through this night.
Daniel resolved not to defile himself with the king's rich food and wine.
I respectfully ask, my lord, that we might be given only vegetables to eat and water to drink.
For 10 days, they ate only vegetables and drank only water. At the end of the 10 days, they looked healthier and stronger than all the others. Their faithfulness brought them favor before God and man. God honored their obedience with wisdom and understanding beyond measure.
Darkness, and the light dwells with him.
Blessed be the God of Daniel, for he is a revealer of mysteries.
As they stood before the king, no one in Babylon matched their wisdom or understanding. But among them, one stood apart, for God gave Daniel understanding in visions and dreams. In every matter of knowledge, the king found them 10 times wiser than all the magicians and enchanters in his realm. God honored their obedience with wisdom and understanding beyond measure. In the night, King Nebuchadnezzar dreamed a dream that deeply troubled his spirit. None among the magicians, enchanters, or wise men could reveal the king's dream, and his anger burned against them. Then Daniel prayed with Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, asking the God of heaven for mercy to reveal the mystery. God revealed the dream, a great statue made of gold, silver, bronze, iron, and clay, symbolizing the kingdoms of men. A stone cut without hands struck the statue and shattered it, and that stone became a great mountain, filling the whole earth. The God of heaven will establish a kingdom that will never be destroyed. His dominion shall stand forever.
By the command of King Nebuchadnezzar, when you hear the music, you must bow down and worship the golden image.
King Nebuchadnezzar built a golden image and commanded all people to bow before it. But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego refused to bow.
Refuse to worship the idol. Very well. Let us see if your God can save you from the fire.
Take these men,
If they will not bow
The
to
king's
idol,
fury
they will
rose,
burn.
but they stood firm, saying, "Our God is able to deliver us, but even if he does not, we will not bow." They were cast into a furnace, heated 7 times hotter, so fierce that even the soldiers perished. When the king looked inside, he saw 4 men walking unharmed, and the 4th looked like a son of the gods. They emerged without a single burn. The king proclaimed, "Blessed be the God who delivers his servants from the fire." Nebuchadnezzar dreamed again of a towering tree reaching the sky, giving shelter to all creatures, until a holy watcher commanded,
Cut it down. Leave the stump bound in iron and bronze.
The great God
Daniel
has
told
revealed
him,
to the king what will happen in the future. The dream is true, and its interpretation is trustworthy.
A year later, pride filled the king's heart. A voice from heaven declared,
Your kingdom has departed from you.
He lived like an animal, eating grass, until he lifted his eyes to heaven. He lifted his eyes to heaven and said,
Now I know that God rules.
His sanity returned, and he glorified the King of Heaven. Years later, King Belshazzar held a feast using vessels from God's temple, praising idols of gold and stone. Suddenly, a hand appeared and wrote on the wall, Mene, Mene, Tekel, Parsin. Terrified, the king's color changed and his knees shook. He called for Daniel. Daniel stood before the trembling king. Daniel said,
You have been weighed in the balance and found wanting. Your kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians.
That very night, Babylon fell. Under King Darius, Daniel became the most trusted ruler. Jealous officials tricked the king into signing a decree. No one may pray to any god but the king for 30 days. Daniel still prayed 3 times a day, facing Jerusalem. He was thrown into the den of lions. The king cried out,
God, whom you serve continually, he will deliver you.
My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths.
Please, let him be alive. Show mercy.
At dawn, Darius rushed to the den and shouted,
Daniel, has your God saved you?
From the darkness came the voice,
My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths.
Daniel was lifted out unharmed, and the king decreed that all should honor the God of Daniel, for he is the living God who rescues and delivers.
This morning settle upon all the provinces of Babylon. Let the decree be issued that order and justice prevail.
In his later years, Daniel saw visions of kingdoms yet to come. 4 beasts rose from the sea: lion, bear, leopard, and a dreadful iron beast, representing empires that would rule the earth. Then he saw the Ancient of Days seated on a fiery throne. And one, like the Son of Man, came with the clouds, receiving everlasting dominion that will never pass away. He saw a ram and a goat, Media, Persia, and Greece, symbols of rising empires. A fierce king would magnify himself against the Holy One, but he would be destroyed without human hand. He was told,
"Seal up the vision until the time of the end."
"Many will be purified and made white, but the wise will understand." Through it all, Daniel prayed for mercy for his people. And God promised, a time will come when righteousness will reign forever. From the courts of Babylon to the dens of lions, Daniel's life declares one eternal truth: God rules over all. He humbles the proud, honors the faithful, and his kingdom stands when all others crumble. Kingdoms rise and fall, but his word endures forever. Stand firm in your faith, for just as Daniel endured, so will you. Let his courage remind you, when you stand with God, you never stand alone. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are his, forever and ever.